informative, but really may not be. For example, a line chart may not make much sense when you're talking about individual employees and the different wages they make. Line charts tend to be a little better, though, when talking about change over time. Similarly, this pie chart is not going to be a good way to display the data about the different hourly wages of the employees. But I love that you can get a preview of most of these chart types and kind of test it out to see if it will serve your purposes. In addition to using the recommended charts button and perhaps switching to all charts, if you pretty well know what chart type you want, you can just skip the recommended charts button and go straight to the exact chart that you want. Maybe this one, for example. So I'm going to resize that one and put it over to the side. And I want to show you one other quick way that you can turn selected data into a chart. With a range of data selected, you can hold the Alt key and tap the F1 key on your keyboard, and Excel should automatically create a chart out of the data that you have selected. In my case, it's exactly the same as the previous chart I made, so I'm just going to click on it and delete it out. I don't need two of those. Now, once you have your chart or charts on the spreadsheet, you can select the chart, and you'll see we get two new tabs above the ribbon, Chart Design and Format. Let's take a look at Chart Design. Using the Chart Design ribbon, I can actually change the chart type. If I'm not happy with a Pareto chart, I can click here and switch to something else, like a pie chart. In my case, this would be a great mistake. So I'm going to go up here and click the Undo button to bring back my Pareto chart. I like that better. But there will be times when you change your mind on the chart, and you can do that here on the Chart Design tab, here with this button, Change Chart Type. Excel also gives me some handy chart styles that I can quickly apply to my chart. So just with the click of a button, I can change the look and feel of my chart. Now, if you don't think this is important, think again. One of the main purposes of a chart in Excel is to display the data that you have here in numbers and text, but in a much more visual way. So if you can make the data look more interesting or convey more data, it could very well be extremely important that you make the right chart styles choices. I kind of like how this looks with the black background, so I'm going to keep it that way. If you want, you can also adjust the colors in your chart. So right now I have the Colorful Palette 1 selected, but I could switch to Colorful Palette 2, and you can see there's some slight adjustments there. Or I could go to Monochromatic. There's just lots of different color adjustments you can make to your chart. To the left of the Change Colors button, I have a Quick Layout button, and I can click there to make some adjustments to the chart layout. So here's what I have now, but if I switch to this, you can see that there are some adjustments. Some numbers are appearing here across the bottom, but there's so many of them they don't fit and they overlap, so that may not be a good choice to switch to this layout. But it lists here for you what is included in this layout. Here's Layout 3. Again, I don't like that, so I'm going to stick with the first layout. Next, let's look at how to edit chart titles. Right now, this chart is just called Chart Title. I'm going to double click on it and highlight the text, and I'll change this to Pareto Chart. Now, what if you don't even have a chart title associated with your chart? You can fix that by going here on the Chart Design tab. Here at the left, you can click Add Chart Element and choose Chart Title. You can see the options, No Chart Title, Above Chart, or Centered Overlay. I'm happy with the title the way it is. Also in that same button, the Add Chart Element button, we can also change how the axes are handled. Do I want to switch the chart to be primary horizontal or primary vertical? You can see the differences there. There are also other axis options here. We can change the axis titles. Do I want the axis title primary horizontal or primary vertical? Again, you can see the differences. In this case, I'm going to go with primary vertical, because people may not know what these dollar amounts actually mean. But now that I have this axis title in place, I can triple click on it to highlight all of the text, and then I can type hourly wage. It feels kind of weird to type vertically like this, but when you're done, just click away, and now I have titled the vertical axis. And I'm sure you can see how this improves the chart. It makes it much more understandable, and it just conveys the information better. We have other chart elements that I hope that you'll explore. In the case of my chart, a lot of these options are just going to clutter it up and make it harder to read and understand. so I'm not going to do this. But if you want to add anything else to your chart, this Add Chart Element button is a great option. There is one more chart element that I want to draw your attention to though, and that's the Legend chart element. In some cases, this will add just the information that you need. So for example, here it added a legend showing that the blue represents hourly wage. So that can be helpful. And if there are multiple colors in your chart, that legend might be crucial to help people understand what they're looking at. Let's look now at the other tab that appeared once I created my chart and selected it. It's the Format tab. If I click there, I get even more visual elements that I can use in my chart. I can put in a shape fill. I'm not so happy with that change, so I'm going to hold Control and tap Z. But there are times when you want to make these kind of changes yourself rather than just using a predetermined chart design. So you can change the fill and the shape outline, shape effects. For example, I can add a glow around the edge of the chart or different elements of the chart. So definitely explore these visual elements and options on the Format tab. I can also change the style of the words in my chart. For example, this text here that says Pareto chart. If I select that text, I can go up here in the Word Art Styles group and I can change how that looks in the chart just by clicking on one of these options. I'm going to undo that and try a different one. Let's say I want it to have a reflection. I can choose it and look, that text now has a reflection. It's also possible to use this Format tab and ribbon to insert some shapes and also text boxes. So I'm going to click on text box and I'll click and drag to draw out a text box. Now, because of the choices I made about the background color of the chart, it's hard for you to see that text box at first. But when I release the mouse button, it appears and I can click in that text box and type. I'll just type in something like employee wages, and then I'll click away from the text box, and I can always click back on the text box and stretch it out using the handles, and I can go to the edge of the text box to move it to where I want it to be. Clicking back on the chart and going back into the Format tab, there's also shapes that I can use in my chart. So I can click here on this shape, for example, this arrow, and then I could click and drag to draw the arrow to point out key information. If I then click on the arrow, I can go to the Shape Format button, and I could go here to Shape Outline and change the weight of the shape, the arrow in this case. I'm going to choose 4.5 point weight, and the arrow is much more visible now. I could also change its color to help draw attention to it a little better. So with those two options, I think the arrow is going to work a lot better with this chart. Now there's one other skill specific to charts that I want you to be able to do, and that is the numbers that you have in your chart can be formatted. So I could right click on the wage amounts here at the left, and I could go down here to Format Axis. I get a panel that opens up at the right, and here I can put in what is the minimum number and what is the maximum number. So right now the maximum is 35, even though nobody is making $35 an hour. I could lower that to 34 and it adjusts the chart. Or I could raise it maybe to 60. Tap enter and you can see how the chart is adjusted. So it's all about displaying data the way you want it to look. I'm going to put this back to 35, but then maybe I can change the minimum to be 10. I tap enter and the chart is adjusted. I could do the same thing with the percentages here at the right, just by right-clicking and formatting the axis. Okay, now that you know all of those chart skills and techniques, let's look at a few bonus elements that you can add, not specifically to your chart, but really you could add these anywhere in the spreadsheet, including on a chart. For example, you could click Insert and Illustrations to bring in an image. I'll click here on Pictures, and I could just insert an image that's on my computer, or I could pull from stock images, or from online pictures. Let's try online pictures. I'm just going to do a search for a $sign. Here's one. I can then click on it and insert, and now I've got a graphic image that I can resize. I can move it to where I want it to be, including possibly on my chart, maybe there. Just like I inserted this text box here on the chart, I can also insert a text box even without having a chart. So I could just click here, expand the text box if I want to, click in it and type. And then I could click on the very edge of the text box to move it to where I want it to be. This text in the text box is just floating on top of the data. It's not going to affect the cells. It doesn't exist in a row or a column. It's just floating on top. In addition to inserting text boxes, you can also insert headers and footers, signature lines, and word art. Let's put in some word art. I'll click to select that particular style, and I'll change the text to something like that. Having selected the text, I can change the font size to whatever I want it to be. And then similar to my basic text box, I can click on the very edge of this text box and drag it exactly where I want it to be in my spreadsheet. There's one other similar example that I want you to know about, and that is if you click on Insert, in addition to word art, we also have an illustration that's called Smart Art. If you click on that, it brings up several collections of smart graphics that you can insert onto your spreadsheets. Here you'll find things like org charts or organization charts that show maybe the owner or CEO, and then how everyone else in the organization connects to each other. Supervisors, managers, coworkers, etc. We have a matrix option, we have a pyramid, process, smart art, lists, and so much more. I'm going to go back to the hierarchy options to insert an org chart. I'll click OK, and it appears here, but I can just type using these bulleted lists. There's CEO, department manager, employee 1, and then I can put employee 2 and 3. And of course, normally you would probably put names instead of just titles like this. If you need more than this, you can just tap Enter on the keyboard and you get another Smart Art element. I can change the indentation to adjust the Smart Art the way I want to or need to. And you can also click and drag to do that as well. If you want to learn more about Excel Smart Art, watch my other videos on that subject. But at this point, I'm going to close out of that wizard that was there, and I'm just going to click and drag to move my org chart off to the side, because at this point, we've looked at all of the key advanced chart skills that you need in this Excel for Intermediate Users, the complete course. In the next section of the video, you're going to learn more about how to work with data lists, including how to use data forms. In this section of Excel for Intermediate Users, the complete course, we are going to learn more skills related to working with data lists in Excel. In the Excel for Beginners complete course, I showed how to create a list of data by clicking on a cell and simply typing. You can then tap the Tab key to move to the right and type again, tab over, and continue typing. You can also tap Enter on the keyboard to move down, and if Excel can tell that you're creating a list of data, when you tap Enter on the keyboard, instead of just moving down one, it will often move to the left so that you can continue entering records in this data list. And I can just keep tabbing over, typing, and tapping Enter to create the next record. In this Excel for Intermediate Users complete course, I want to help you take this process to the next level. And we're going to do it by using a data form. So I'm going to switch to the 2022 employee list by clicking down here on its tab, and now I can see our employee list of 70 employees. Now it would be fine, of course, to create this list the way I've already shown you, just by clicking on a cell, typing, tapping Enter, and typing in the information manually that you want to include in your spreadsheet. Now let's look at an alternative. Let's move up here to the Quick Access toolbar. And I'm just going to click here on this symbol to customize the Quick Access toolbar, which is this section here. It's a toolbar that helps you have quick access to the tools and options that you use most often, or for tools and options that you don't want to have to dig for by going to tabs and ribbons and groups and all of that. So I'm going to click on this button here to customize the Quick Access toolbar. When I click that, there's all these options that I can add to the Quick Access toolbar or remove. But if you go down here almost to the very bottom where it says More Commands, you can click and you get this dialog box that pops up that will help you to customize it even more. By default, Excel took me to a list of popular commands that I could add to my Quick Access toolbar. Here at the right, I can see what I already have on the Quick Access toolbar. But I'm going to switch from popular commands to all commands, and I'm going to browse down until I see a command called Form. I'm going to select that and then click Add. So now I should have a new button on my Quick Access toolbar called Forms. I'll click OK, and it's added here at the top. Now all I have to do is make sure I've clicked somewhere inside my data list or range of data, and then go up here and click on the Forms button. Now look what I get when I do that. I get this nice interface that is clean and pretty simple and is going to enable me to do data entry in a safer and in many cases faster way. So imagine instead of having 70 employees, what if I had 5,000 employees or 500 employees? Would I really want to be typing and tabbing over and hitting enter the way I've shown to create such a huge list? I may not want to. Data forms like this can help ensure that you're more careful and that the data that you're entering is more safely added into the data list. So I can simply click this New button to add a new employee. Now before I go any further, I'm going to close the data form, because if I'm going to use it to add additional